Hi, I'm Tim. I can't see any of you, so this will be fun.
Hi, Tim.
We made it to October. That's my big takeaway. Score one for the optimists. I love October on campus because it's very pretty, but one thing I don't like about October is spooky ghost season. Are there any horror movie fans out there? All right. You guys watching a lot of horror movies right now because it's the time of year?
Yeah.
Anybody want to shout out like there's like the scariest movie they've ever seen? Midsummer? Yeah. Legitimately terrifying. I've never seen it and I'm never going to. I don't doubt it, but let me tell you, the scariest movie I have ever seen is Sleeping Beauty. 1959 animated Disney classic. I mean, this movie terrified me because Maleficent, the evil fairy sorcerer witch lady, is like the stuff of nightmares. I mean, not just nightmares, crying fits, hallucinations, bedwetting. But you know. So as a child, like, I have 3 younger sisters, so we watch Disney princess movies all the time. But Sleeping Beauty was the one I just refused to watch. They'd have the storybook opening where it's like Sleeping Beauty, and I would just cry and leave. So I never actually saw Maleficent on screen, but I knew she was there. I knew she was waiting. But Disney Plus came out recently, well, like almost a year now. Crazy. But when that came out, I got it, and I was like, the main reason I got it was to watch Sleeping Beauty. I told myself, I was like, Tim, you're 21 years old. You got to get past this. And it took me 8 months to finally watch the movie because, you know, I need to ease into it. So I watched like Bambi, Alice in Wonderland, you know, softball movies that I knew I could get through. And I finally watched Sleeping Beauty this summer, and needless to say, like, it was an anxiety-ridden experience. I was 22. I felt much more confident at 22 than I did at 21. But it was tough. And the reason it was tough was because Disney lied to me about this movie. First off, first they told the truth. Maleficent, very scary. But they lied because, and here's a question for you. What color is Princess Aurora's dress in the movie? Yeah, I thought it was pink too. It's not. The dress, for 95% of when she's wearing it, is blue. They have this whole scene where the fairies, who are idiots, by the way, I mean, like, they set her up to die. They, like, fight over the dress using magic, blow their cover, but they're fighting over whether the dress should be pink or blue, and I'm like, this will be funny, the dress will end up pink, we'll all go home happy. No. The dress was blue. And now, basically, I'm fighting a war on 2 fronts, because Maleficent's still in the movie. I'm honestly convinced she changed the color of the dress. But, anyway. The scariest part of this movie for me, I actually got through like the first 20 minutes fairly decently. But once the dress was blue, all bets were off. And Aurora is back at the castle. It's the night before the curse is going to be broken. And Maleficent materializes in the fireplace like a shadowy ghost woman. And I, similar to how I feel right now, am like this. Oh God. I should not have undertaken this endeavor. She goes away, but now I'm just completely done for. Hallucinations are back. Nightmares soon to come. And the next 25 minutes of the movie is Aurora slowly walking upstairs under a spell as she proceeds to the spinning wheel of death. And the music didn't help, let me tell you, because the music, every time she lands on a step, goes bump. So she says, bump, bump. And I'm like, please, somebody get her out of this. Maleficent's somewhere. Please, please get her out of this. The dress is blue, but we should still save her. Oh God, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, why is the dress still blue? If the dress was pink, this would at least be better. She gets up, pricks her finger, dies. I mean, you know, she comes back to life, but, you know, at that point I was like, dead. There's no hope here. And Maleficent, like, materializes again. She, like, bamboozles everybody. I'm freaking out. Aurora is sleeping in a blue dress, which is just the worst part of this whole thing. But, you know, I got through the movie. It was scary. I had a lot of anxiety. My family has made fun of me for not watching the movie for years. But I was left with one big takeaway after finishing it. Why did Disney think that they could take Maleficent and make a live-action remake called Maleficent that turns her into some sort of tragic hero? Because that makes me look stupid. What was I hallucinating for? To be fair, I mean, like, I don't remember agreeing to see Maleficent, the movie, in theaters, but I know that I went. Because I know how it ends, and spoiler alert, there's some convoluted relationship where, like, she sees Aurora as her daughter, and she's the one who gives the kiss of true love to break the spell that she put on the baby in the first place. I was fuming because really, like, I really want my fear to be legitimate, you know, but it's not legitimate when, you know, true love is actually what we're all striving for. And I wasn't overly convinced watching the first movie that Maleficent loved Aurora at all. I mean, she condemned her to die. So really Disney, like, ruined my childhood and then my teenage years, and now again they've ruined my 20s with this series of events involving Sleeping Beauty. And of course, speaking of Disney ruining people's childhood, what did they do to Star Wars? This is a similar issue to the Maleficent thing. Palpatine should not have any offspring, period. Rey's parentage was this, like, exciting thing, mystery throughout the entire trilogy, and Palpatine's granddaughter is probably the worst answer they could have come up with. Two random people was better than Palpatine's granddaughter. Because nobody wants to imagine Palpatine with some chick going, unlimited power! And then 9 months later, a baby comes out of that? I mean, come on. No. It's bad. I'm sorry I gave you all that image. Please forget it as soon as possible. But they're doing it with villains nowadays, and I'm not a fan. They did it with Voldemort too. Like, he had a daughter. Like, no. Please stop. These people are scary. And they should be sterile because they're so evil. But yeah, I mean, needless to say, to the horror movie fans in the audience, you guys, I give you mad props because I will not be touching any of those movies ever. Period. End of sentence. And that's what I got for you guys, so I appreciate